Hi guys, this is Jack with Team Empire, and we're finally back covering first thoughts for 3 new Stoicheia cards for DBT12 Evanfall Onslaught. Before we start though, I just wanted to apologize for not posting a lot of content recently. I've been busy. I recently got a new PC, which is pretty cool. Like I've just been learning how to record stuff and transfer other videos that my teammates have sent me. So, sorry for the content drought. I promise you from now on we're going to be posting a lot more content. I've just been really busy with just life stuff. So, sorry for the delay, but we're finally back to cover these 3 new Stoicheia cards. Most of these are Grafia support, although one of them is a Lianorn support card, which is pretty cool. So moving on, going to the first card, I should say, we have Resident of the Rose Garden Chipmus, which has the effect Auto Record Circle once per turn. When 3 or more of your plant gauges are discarded at the same time by your card's ability cost, this unit gets plus 10k power until end of turn. It's alright. It's just a standard common. It's an 18k booster or 18k attacker. The main problem is that he doesn't get the power before you use Grafia's effect. If he got the 10k power before Grafia restood him and gave him all that power, it'd actually be pretty decent. But because it gets it after, you'd have to already power this guy up or boost him with something else before you use the effect. So honestly, I think he's just eh. Also, he doesn't actually give you plant tokens. That's a problem with making cards that rely on plant tokens being on the board, but don't actually generate plant tokens. Because Gandiva's in the meta, you're not going to be wanting this in your deck, unless you're playing like a super budget-friendly deck, but then again, Grafia is already a budget deck. So I don't really like this card, to be honest, but it is a common, and it's not god-awful or anything, at least there's no cost. Next up, we have a normal order, which is Blessing of the Blooming Buds, which is a grade 0 normal order that says all of your units with an original power of 5k or less get plus 10k, and the ability Auto Record Circle. When this unit attack hits, you may return this unit to your hand until end of turn. So, a lot of people have drawn comparisons to using this with Roaming Prison Dragon, which is pretty fair. I mean, Roaming Prison Dragon is a 5k, and there are times when you call Roaming Prison Dragon that, especially if you're not alchemagicking, there are times where you call Roaming Prison Dragon and you have a choice to give him either plus 1 crit or plus 10k. Normally you're going to give him the plus 10k because using him early, the crit's not really going to matter. But with this, you can actually use it to give him the plus 1 crit, and then this will give him the plus 10k, which is pretty nice. Also, the ability to put it back into your hand might be more useful than people will be giving credit for, because if you bounce it back to your hand, you can use it for like PGs, or if your opponent has a Battledore skill, you can guard with a trigger and then guard with him, so you have him in your drop zone, or maybe just use him for ride deck discard fodder on the next turn. There's also another interesting deck that this can be used with, and that's Griffergilla. This is more of like a fun little tech. Because it's grade 0, you can actually use it on a Griffergilla turn, which I think is the main reason why they made this grade 0. Because if you call a bunch of triggers down, you can use this to power up those triggers and make really big columns, and have it so you can bounce those triggers back to your hand, actually giving Griffergilla kind of an early game. Now, is it the best? No, it's a huge minus, especially if your opponent guards, but it's more of just like a fun, maybe you could try this tech card. But the main deck I think this is useful for are decks that generate a lot of plant tokens, like the Roa Ride line or the Grafia Ride line. Grafia especially. Grafia on turn 2 can get 3 plant tokens really easily, so being able to use this to power up those tokens by plus 10k increases the ceiling of your rush turn even more, and pushes your opponent to a high damage so that Grafia's turn 3 can actually matter. So overall, I would give this card like a really high score. I think it's a really interesting rare, and I hope to see more rares like it. Next up, or finally, we have the triple rare, the first triple rare for set 12, and it's a grade 1 called Rosarium Fairy, which has the effect Auto. When this unit is placed on a rearguard circle, cost retire one of your other rearguards, call up to 2 planet tokens to rearguard. Then, Auto Rigard Circle, when this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Grafia or Lianorn in its card name, and your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, choose one of your other back row rearguards, and this unit gets power equal to that unit's power until end of that battle. So this is a really good triple rare. That first effect is very nice for any Stoicheia deck, but mostly it's for Grafia and other decks that revolve around generating field advantage, where you can turn one of your rearguards into 2 rearguards. Obviously it's good for Grafia because you can retire one of your rearguards that's not useful to you anymore, and then call 2 plant tokens, which is good for your rush turn, but it's also good for generating more gauges. Lianorn, it's also pretty good, because if you're playing the row ride line, you could retire one of your tokens to now have 3 plant tokens in your back row, which is pretty nice. On top of that, that second effect is more useful for Grafia than it is for Lianorn, unfortunately. But for Lianorn, if you have like a 13k booster in the back row, or maybe even a Kuchi in the back row, which has, or Kusi, my bad, Kusi in the back row, it can gain 15k power, making it a 23k attacker. But for Grafia, it's even better, because normally your token will be at least 25k power by the time you get to your first grade 3 turn. So having this card be a 33k attacker, and then when you restand it, it will be once again a 33k attacker, is pretty nice. Basically, always having a beefy attacker to restand. So overall, I give this unit a pretty high rating. I think this is a really good card. And I like that it's cross support. I hope we get more kind of cards like this. It allows for a lot of creativity and allows for more decks to actually get support if you combine them with other decks that have similar playstyles. Some other ones I'm expecting in the future are maybe like Soul Rhyron and Hexaorb, or Eugene and Gondiva, because those decks have very similar playstyles. Or maybe even similar ones like Barrow Magnus and Drajuled. Like, I think this could lead to some really cool interactions. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know what y'all think about this cross support with Lianorn and Grafia. Let me know what you think about the Grafia support. And also, let me know if there's something I missed, because I haven't done this in a while, so I'm a little rusty. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.